Hello, Kyle here. For most of 2016, I spent my time focusing on other creative ideas. I wasn't actually painting. The one series was very minimal and focused more on building frames and operating a laser cutter. And the Artworthy series was a lot more palette knife painting, but it's more even scraping. It doesn't require any of the sophisticated brush handling techniques that my Urban Landscape series requires. It had been quite a while since I had picked up a paintbrush, and I wanted to make sure that my skills were nice and sharp and well honed. When I get painting my urban landscapes, I want to be at my best. So I thought it would be a nice idea to go back a decade and paint similar to how I was painting in my early OCAD years. I think I started this back in November or something. It's been a long time, and I'm just finding it very difficult to maintain motivation because every time I look at this and get working on it, all I keep thinking of is, I've done this before, I've moved past this. So if there's one thing I can take away from my little experiment, because really I just wanted to make practice doing, using a brush again, and I thought it would be fun to go back to an old school level because with my Urban Landscape series, I absolutely love the painting process, but the tracing process I find very slow and tedious. And I didn't want to put in all that work, then get painting and then be sloppy and just ruin a perfectly good composition and have to trace it all out again and start over. That just didn't appeal to me in the slightest. I discovered the brush handling techniques that make these paintings successful. Very smooth, even shading aren't the ones that work with my Urban Landscape series, which are much more expressionistic gestural brushstrokes, but done in a certain way that kind of breaks the certain repetition that most artists, I find, develop when they're kind of just painting mindlessly. After this little attempt, I think I'm just gonna declare myself done with this technique entirely. I just can't work out the motivation to see that piece through to the end. I feel a big step backwards, and if I have some other ideas for this technique that will be pushing it forward, but this is not the right time for that. I can do that when the urban landscapes are out of the way and I'm prepared for my next show. Once I've achieved that point, then I can try out my new idea for this technique. But until then, I'm done with it.